and I'm the Assistant Branch Manager at RBC Markham Meeting Place. So we're very excited to be here today, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm just going to share the deck of the day. All right. So as I said, we're very excited to be here today, and we have a very, very interesting topic, which is proven personal branding, a strategy for a successful career in Canada. And we have a very, very special guest today. We have Christine Connery, Senior Consultant from IBM. So lucky to have her today, and we're gonna hear from her very, very shortly. So, and here's the agenda of the day. I'm gonna talk about what we have for you today. So we heard from Sonia already, and first we're gonna have our Community Branch Manager, Jeff Rice, to welcome from RBC. Then we're gonna play a short video to get to know RBC as a organization, and then I'm gonna talk very quickly about RBC purpose and value. And Ria, our banking advisor, gonna talk about RBC Markham Meeting Place where we work. So, and next we're going to get to the main presentation. So I know Christine has a lot to offer and deliver today. She's gonna talk about her journey as well as the personal branding, and it's going to be lots of takeaways. So, and I can't wait to hear from her. And at the end, you're going to get into the Q&A. So please feel free to enter your questions through the chat box or Q&A at the right bottom corner. So, and as I said, so the first person I would like to introduce is Jeff Rice, our Community Branch Manager. So Jeff is also very, very passionate about newcomer community, and that's actually why he attends almost all of our advice events. So Jeff is also responsible for one of the largest branches in Markham, which is Highway 7 and 404 branch, as well as the RBC Markham Meeting Place. So he has an extensive 17-year career as a banking professional and a leader with a strong passion for helping community and clients achieve their goals. So thank you so much, Jeff, for joining us today, and just handing it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Naz, for the introduction. Really excited about today's topic. It's something we haven't really gone into in any of our other series. So, you know, branding is very important. You know, how you do it, what you need to do, thinking about it is a good first start. But this is going to be a phenomenal presentation. I've seen a little bit of it before, or the preview before. I'm looking forward to it, and I know you guys will get a lot out of this. Thank you, Christine, for being here to present it and preparing the deck. And as always, thank you, Naz and Ria, for your work behind the scenes to make this go amazing, as always. And we always, you know, appreciate the opportunity to be here with our partner ACCES Employment to help as many newcomers as we possibly can. So if you do have questions, put them in the Q&A box, and we will answer as many questions as we can. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Jeff, once again for joining us today. So now let's just watch a very quick video about RBC. All right. So as you just heard, so people here at RBC volunteer a lot, not because we have to, because we want to make a difference. And that's exactly why we are here today, to help you and provide you some invaluable advice and guidance. And this is actually a great example of our purpose, because at RBC, our purpose is to helping clients, tribes, and communities prosper. And our vision is to be among the world's most trusted and successful financial institution. So all of our achievements that we did is to living our values. And RBC has around like 80,000 employees. So we all are guided by one set of values. So first is client first, because we always earn the right to be our client's first choice. And second is collaboration. We win as one RBC, and we are partners and work together as one RBC to make sure our clients and communities prosper. The other one is accountability. So we take our ownership for personal and collective high performance, diversity and inclusion. I think that's why we are so successful, just like Canada, that is a very successful and very attractive country to live in, because of the diversity of thoughts, experience, and people all around the world bring their own perspective, like same as RBC. And the last but not the least is integrity. So we hold ourselves to the highest standards to build trust. So that was also just a little bit about RBC that I wanted to share with you. Now I would like to hand it over to our banking advisor, Ria, to introduce RBC Markup Meeting Place. Thank you, Ria, and I hand it over to you.
Thank you so much, Naz. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining this wonderful collaboration with RBC and ACCESS Employment. I'm so happy to tell you about our branch. As a banking advisor at RBC Meeting Place, I really get to be present in the community and work with wonderful partners like ACCESS Employment, where we get to provide the advice, just like today, that really goes beyond banking. And that you've heard from our core team, Jeff, myself, and Nazanin. However, we do have an extensive support team that goes throughout the different markets, the different branches, and different regions as well within RBC. But today it extends also to IBM with our guest speaker, Christine. And I feel so lucky to have met Christine in 2019 as an ACCESS client herself. So we brought, just the fruits of that labor with ACCESS Employment. So I'm so happy to have Christine here. And it's just another example of how we work with the community to provide the support, the connections, and the network to the newcomer communities. And this is our branch that is with ACCESS Employment. So it's RBC Meeting Place. We're located at 8500 Leslie Street, Highway 7 and Leslie to be exact. And we've created a warm and welcoming environment where anyone can just stop by and even have a chat, maybe practice their interview skills, or even discuss their banking needs as well. And our community partners, we're so grateful to have community partners that are listed here today, and ACCESS being one of our key partners throughout this journey. Together, we're the connector with our newcomers, and where we can have a greater impact. And since opening our doors in early 2019, we were able to create awareness through our events and our community involvement. And here are just a few of the in-person ones we've had in 2019. However, if you fast forward to 2020, we've taken our reach digitally, where we facilitate many of our events via WebEx. We've included financial literacy events ranging from investments, mortgages, and such. But today we actually have Christine, who will share tips and advice around personal branding strategies that really worked for her. And we're so happy to have her today. And now Christine is one of ACCESS's first clients that I've met. And I feel so honored to have met her, because she's every day as a ACCESS client, she would come in and say hello to us, and she's just a joy to be around. And I too have learned so much from her as a person, and she has great knowledge and really, really valuable advice to share today. So over to you, Christine.
Thank you so much, Ria, Naz, and Jeff. It is definitely a pleasure being here. And every time I look at the slides on what the meeting place was, it just gives me goosebumps and jitters, because it's 2 years back when I landed into Canada. I had no idea of what I'll be doing. That place seemed so much like home. So thank you again, RBC Meeting Place and ACCESS. I can say 2 years down the road, 2.5, I'm where I am because you guys helped and supported me during my initial start of my journey. If we can go to the next slide, please. So today it is my privilege to bring to you this presentation on proven personal branding strategies. And this has been something that I have kind of learned over the few years that I have been here. And in the next few slides, I will share about my journey on how I got to Canada. But one reason why I think personal branding is so important is because it played an important role in helping me identify what I was going to do with my whole transition to Canada, to help me choose the career that I wanted to choose and not just take something that I was handed down. So it really helped me shape my focus in where I wanted to take my career and my dreams of coming to Canada. So this is really from my heart to yours, a lot of things that are very personal to me that I have learned over the years. If you could go to the next slide, please. So here's a bit of my journey. It's a bit cluttered, but it all comes down to one thing. So I was born in India. That's where I did my early parts of my education and my bachelor's as well. After which I worked as a consultant at Deloitte for a year and a half. That's where I understood what consulting was, and it helped me know that this was something that I was passionate about. So this was the niche that I wanted to go into, but I wasn't able to really know whether I was going to be in management or technology and what those skills would be like. And if I was pursuing a career, I wanted to be good at it. So that's where I took the leap and went to Australia and studied at the University of Melbourne, which had one of the best programs for information systems. I was divided at that time between, well, do my MBA or will I do an MIS? And I realized I wanted to keep my technology skills as well as pursue in management. So that's where I did my master's in information systems. And here's the takeaway for people who are watching this. I will be talking about identifying your niche as well. And it's important earlier on, especially if you're planning to move to Canada for education or come here and then pursue your education, to really know which fields you want to pursue into. Is it technology or management? And then make that decision, and not really make a decision based on the general public of, what's a common opinion. So that's a good takeaway from this slide, I think, which I love to share from my experience. But after Australia, I moved to the US for a year. I studied at the Tepper School of Business at Carnegie Mellon University. I was there for a year and then moved to Canada in 2018. And I currently work as a senior cybersecurity consultant at IBM. I also am a speaker and I work as a communications coach in a few of when I'm not doing my day job. All right, the next slide, please. Some of my key highlights of my life in Canada. Now, these are just a few of the many things that I have been able to do while my time here. And before I start this, I just have a story to share. I remember 2018 to early 2019. I have asked myself this one question a number of times, especially in the first 6 months of when I came to Canada. And that was, did I make the right choice? Did I jump my guns? Did I make the right choice? I had a career I could have pursued in the other 3 countries that I was in, but did I make the right choice coming to Canada? If I'm being honest, as I said, I will be in this presentation, it's my heart to yours. It was hard initially. It was tough. It was a place which was new to me. I had no friends or family that I could rely on. But I knew that I came here with a dream, and I had to keep persisting and I had to keep moving forward. But what helped me was knowing that there was a community and there were services such as ACCES, such as our BC meeting place that I could reach out to. And 2.5 years down the road, if I ask myself the same question, I'm saying absolutely yes. I made the right choice to come here because I was able to accomplish the things that I dreamt of accomplishing and still more. So for those who are coming in, it might be hard, but it's important to know that you can reach out. There was a lot of steps where I had to build community, and that was me taking the first step to reach out. I did miss home, as I said. I wish I wanted to go back sometimes, but I'm glad I stayed on and pursued my dreams here. I survived the winter. That's right. When they say it's minus 25, they're not joking. It's not a prank. Make sure you come with buy good boots and a good jacket here, but I survived it. If I can, you can too. And it helped me rebranding myself, and that's what I'm going to be focusing um, on today's seminar. And not just rebranding, I had to unlearn a few things. As I said, I was in the US before, and I thought, well, some things that work there surely, definitely would work in Canada, but I was wrong. So I had to learn to rebrand myself. I had to learn things and unlearn things as well. And if I might give a pitch to Toronto right now, it has the most amazing food ever. So if you're a foodie, you gotta come to Toronto. And yes, this is some of my key highlights of my life in Canada so far. If you can go to the next slide, please. Before I start off on some of the key topics that we're talking about today, personal branding and networking, I want to break some common myths that are out there. The first thing that I've heard a lot is you always need Canadian experience, which is true in some very niche industries, but is not an overall blanket statement. I did not have Canadian work experience, but I was able to get a job in the field of my interest in a position that I liked. So Canadian experience is always ways of understanding that. It's not necessarily Canadian work experience, but it's also like, for example, if you can do a course, if you can volunteer in the community, just working around things with communities in Canada, that could count as experience as well. So that is a myth. You don't need a Canadian experience alone to get a job. There are some myths going out there. There's a hiring freeze. I know companies are hiring. My company, for example, is hiring. So that's a myth as well. Another common one is online job applications. Just submit applications online and that's enough. I have to break this myth right now. That is not the way it works in Canada. I tried that. I remember 2.5 months constantly sitting morning till evening in Starbucks, applying for every job out there, but I did not get any response. And what I learned is the networking is the key here. Building connections, reaching out, and building those connections is the key that would help you get a foot in the door. All right, the next slide, please. So as we start, why is personal branding important? Is it important at all? I believe that it is one of the key cornerstones, the milestones that you have to have in order to build a successful career here. Remember, I'm talking from my position as well. Coming as a newcomer to Canada, I had to establish myself from ground up, which means people in the industry had to know who I am. I had to establish my name. And for that, I had to know how to brand myself and make my peers, my industry, the industry that I am going to be stepping into, know who Christine is. And that was what personal branding helps. The industry also needs to know what skill sets I come with. What are my soft skills? What are my core skills, technical skills? What industries do I thrive in? And that's why personal branding is important. I remember my first networking event in Canada. I was terrified, to be honest. The first networking event, I almost chickened out. I was like, no, I'm not going. Like, it's going to be so scary. What do I talk? Who are the people I'm going to meet? But it was with RBC. And I went and unusually an extrovert. I don't have problems talking, but that day I was completely terrified, I remember. And I was talking to an HR and I said, well, I have this experience. I've worked as an SAP security consultant. I want to do management consulting because I have experience with that. I also can do technology consulting. I also like cybersecurity. And so I have all these different skill sets that I have worked in, that I've studied on, that I can bring. And she asked me one question that really shaped how I approached my career ever since. She's like, Christine, what's the one thing that you want to pursue your career in? What's the one thing you do and you do really well? That was something I had to learn. And that was something I had to build my brand on. What is the one thing I do and I do well that I can showcase to the industry that will help me get a foot in the door? Right now, I can say I am a cybersecurity consultant. If I ask you the same question, what would you say? Would you say I am a project manager? I am a banking advisor? And just having that is an important part to having a personal brand. You also got to be trusted and marketable in the job with the personal branding. Because when you go and you present yourself before employers, a lot of people are going to be putting in their application as well. Why you? Why not the rest? What do you bring to the table? That's what personal branding does. For example, if we talk about networking events in a few slides, when you go to these networking events, when you share your experience, when you share the knowledge you have, people have already seen you, people are talking about you in the industry, and you become a trusted source. And next is you get to be a person of influence. Personal branding will help you establish yourself in the industry, whether it be social in the social media, whether it be one-on-one, whether it be building connections. The next slide, please. All right, so for personal branding, I'm going to be talking about three major things. And the first one is identifying your niche. As I mentioned before, we got to know one thing we do and then one thing we do really well. So what is the area of your expertise? And that would be a part of your elevation pitch as well. Again, ACCES helped me personally phrase my elevator pitch, which had my niche in it. What is your area of expertise? Are you a person in consulting? Are you someone who does banking? Are you a mechanical engineer? Are you an information security manager, like in cybersecurity? Are you a pen tester? Are you like what I do, strategy, risk, and governance? Are you into data security? What is that area of your expertise? This would help you get a trusted advisor kind of certificate when you come and to start a career here. Also, with your area of expertise, backing it up with some good education or work experience would help you rise up that ladder of being a person who they can trust. So as you establish your personal brand, know that you need to know your area of expertise. Put in there your work experience. One thing I have seen is also having an industry or cause, if you are passionate about, really helps. For example, some people are really passionate about social justice. So working with your skill set in an NGO would be something that you would thrive in your career. So keep that at the back of your mind. Understand these things. Ask yourself these questions as well. What are my passion areas? What are my education that lines up to my areas of experience? And always have a personal story to tell. I know when I had my interview with my manager here, I said, I really am passionate about cybersecurity because I want to help clients protect their environment. And I am a people person. I like to understand the clients and talk to them, know what their areas of concern is, and build them and take them through that strategy. And that was exactly what my job description was. So having a personal story, why are you interested in what you're interested in, really adds to your personal brand as well. The next slide, please. All right. The next is really important. If you have not created a LinkedIn profile right now, like if you have a to-do list, put that create LinkedIn in I was going to say blocks, but in highlight, like bolds out there, because the first way in which you would have your presence out on social media, how people would know you, is through your LinkedIn profile. And that would mostly be some of the times the first interaction they have with you before even seeing you face to face, before even hearing you on the call, before even getting with you on a WebEx call. This is going to be their first impression of you. So always have a LinkedIn profile. That's the first one. Second is personalize your LinkedIn profile. Ria and I had a conversation this week, and kind of ticks me off when it's so I call it generic and robotic, where everyone has the same thing out there. How do I distinguish, or how do you, if I have the same thing like 100 other people, how do you distinguish me from the others, right? So let it be personal. With the work experience you've done, demonstrate a few projects that you're in. What did you do on those projects? Again, remember, a LinkedIn profile is not your resume. Again, a LinkedIn profile is not your resume. So let that be personal. Let it be presentable in a good reading format. I know my LinkedIn had to be reviewed a number of times. So get peers to review your LinkedIn profile so that it's not just you looking at it. You have a fresh pair of eyes looking at your LinkedIn profile. When you build your LinkedIn profile, also make sure your niche is very specific on there. I am a dash, for example. I am a product manager. I am a professor in psychology. I am a banking advisor. Very clear there. So when people such as HRs look at your profile, they know exactly who you are. Google search your name. Very important. I'm not a HR, but I have a lot of HR friends who say they do this. They first Google search the name. So before others find out something that's on Google, you got to see what profile a social profile you have. So Google search your name, and even your personal social media profiles, make sure they are, I wouldn't ask you to remove everything, but they are presentable in a job context. Very important to have a good social media presence. Also, make sure you connect with people on social media. I know that a lot of the people that I connect with on LinkedIn are friends that I've grown, that I have got to build friendships with over a period of time. Also, I've got to make connections with people from different industries, as well as in my particular industry. How does this help in personal branding? When I connect with people in my industry and I share content, though it's kind of as passive, but people are knowing the kind of expertise you bring to the table. And guess what? When they have something in their companies as a job that they would want someone to come on, who are they going to think about? They're going to think about you because you shared something on your social media which maybe caught their attention. So very important to build connections and stay connected. Next slide, please. All right, so this, Naz and Ria know this is something I'm super passionate about. And networking is, I heard this initially, your network is your net worth. I almost fought against that. I was like, that is not right. that may not be true, but that is true. Networking is so crucial in building a personal brand, in letting the world outside in your industry, your future peers, to know who you are. and also for you to build a name within your industry. So finding your tribe. Again, as I said, your niche is very important. What do you do? And what do you do really well? Which industry do you want to build into? And go find your tribe in that. For example, for me, I am very passionate about cybersecurity, and that's the industry I work in as well. And I have, I attend, not have myself, but I attend a number of networking events within cybersecurity. For example, I attend, for those who are in cybersecurity, this is a shout out to some of the meetups there. There is an OWASP cybersecurity team. There is Cyber Ladies, which is amazing. And there is WISES, Women in Cybersecurity. There is Toronto Cybersecurity Chapter. There are so many amazing groups within my industry, and I know these because I made an effort to reach out to see who are those people in this industry. For my industry in particular, we're not many people in this industry, and I'm sure it would be similar industries as well. So know those people in that industry, be engaged in that community, and that helps people in your industry know who you are. And if you have questions, you can reach out to them. If they want someone with the area of expertise, they can reach out to you as well. Mentors and sponsors are very, very, very important. I know the first time I knew that cybersecurity is what I wanted to get into, I went to one of these networking events, and there was a person who spoke on his journey in cybersecurity, and I said, I want to learn from you. So I touch base with him, and we are, though he works in another company, but I learn about the industry from him. Also find a sponsor within an organization, as that's, of course, if you're already in an organization. I know one of the ways in which I build my connection within IBM itself is attend a lot of these events cross IBM, and reach out to people just wanting to learn more about their experience. Trust me, everyone likes to speak about themselves. So as long as you're cognizant of their time, they will be more than happy to communicate with you. Participating in networking events, not just go there and listen, but also contribute your ideas. Asking good questions is a good way of showcasing, again, not just who you are, but also your thought process. Be genuine in making connections. That is something very important. If we're not genuine, people can easily see through that, and that could cause a disconnect. So being genuine is super important while making a connection. I know a lot of people that I keep in touch with. I'm not able to talk to them every day or every week, but just sending them a small text, maybe during New Year's, or when I know it's their birthday, or when I know they're getting a promotion, or just staying in touch, knowing that, hey, I hope you're doing well, is a great way to reach out as well. One more thing before we move on is be a giver, not just a consumer. That goes a long way here in Canada, is what I learned. As I talked about in LinkedIn, right? Instead of just being a consumer of the information, share something as well. Share something with the community. There are so many ways in which you can volunteer when you come to Canada, and even before you come to Canada. And that goes a long way in building your identity within the community, and doing that genuinely and not for a selfish. Next slide, please. All right, so here is a quick checklist of things that, based on my experience, again, this is from my heart to yours, on how to be successful. As I've mentioned in the previous slide as well, build strategic connections. Now, when you go to networking events or do it virtually, know the people you want to speak with, who are a part of your tribe, or you want to learn something from. When I was initially doing a job search, I looked at the different people attending, speaking at different networking events. This was back in the days when we could meet in person. And I have seen that there was this one particular executive attending a networking event, and she was high up in the ranks in one of the consulting firms. And I really wanted to learn from this person. And I knew there was no way I could meet her apart from in one of these events. So I made it a point to go to this event, and there were not many people, 50 or so. And when we were having our breakouts and we were getting some, I remember there was really good burrito rolls that day. That I remember. So we were just getting a burrito roll. I was just talking to her, and we were able to build that connection. That was just I think it was 1 to 2 minutes connection, but we were really able to build that connection. And now she is one of my mentors, and she always tells me, Christine, if you don't ask, you don't get. So I had to take that step and ask her to be a mentor, and she contributed so much in my success. So building strategic connections and following up is important. Ask to connect again. Don't be shy of asking to connect on LinkedIn, and make a good first impression. First impressions matter. I think when when people are just being personal and not being or not having that wall, that's important. Like, have a welcoming personality that will welcome people into conversation and give them a takeaway to remember. I know a friend of mine who says, this is my name and this is what it means. And she has a really good meaning to her name. I think something like, I forget what name, I forget what her name means, but it means something about something being sweet and something like that. So I should go back and ask what her name means. But she would say this, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that. And I noticed people remembering that. I know when I say, oh, I've been to Australia, somehow people catch on that one thing and forget everything else about me. And I'm like, okay, I'll say that if that's what you remember about me, So understand what that is one thing that people can connect with you about. And a lot of times, cybersecurity is, again, something people connect with. Be a good listener. That is so important. Like, don't be the talker all the time. And you don't want people to remember you by that. Be a good listener and also ask good questions. I've noticed a lot of people remember you because you ask good questions and we're listening to them through that. All right, the next question, please. I mean, the next slide question. All right, so side effects of networking. There are so many things that you could gain through networking. If you see this picture here, this is actually taken at Markham, at the RBC meeting place in Markham. And this was the mayor. This was the mayor speaking to us. And that was, again, a great networking event. So why is networking important? Is it helps get a job, is what everyone says. But apart from that, there is so much more as well. It helps you build a personal and professional network. It helps you understand who are your peers in your industry. Also, when you ask for a mentor, it gives you a lead into that industry. Like, people would remember you again when there is a job out there. It helps you make friends. And another important thing is helps you identify your transferable skills. Earlier on, when I was searching for a job, I was so frustrated because it seemed like I was not able to land on my niche. And I did not know what I was doing wrong. Like, I was like, someone just tell me what's going on here. And that's when I met a partner at one of the consulting firms. And he listened out to me, what I was saying, what my interest was. And he said, Christine, you say you don't have experience in this, but you say you don't have experience in cybersecurity, but have a lot of experience in SAP security. But have you considered that a lot of what you did in SAP security is transferable to cybersecurity? And that was an aha moment for me because I was not seeing it that way. And so just speaking to him and getting those transferable transferable skills, I promise you, changed my career search forever. Because now I was able to go before the interviewers and say, this is what I did, and be genuine about it, because that was the experience I bring, and this is what the industry needs. Identify your transferable skills by yourself. If not, reach out to people who can help you do that. Extremely important. And again, mentors and coaches. For those of you who will be moving to Canada, there is a lot of networking opportunities, and ACCES is, I just got to give a shout out to ACCES, because they are just amazing, amazing at having networking opportunities. I mean, if ACCES had not given me the opportunities for networking, I would not be able to be talking about networking today. So thank you, ACCES. And so reach out to ACCES. They have a number of networking events with a number of partners out there. So very important to be connected in there. I love my job. I'm not looking to change, but I still go for networking events just to learn about the industry. Next slide, please. All right, so here are a quick overview of a few virtual networking events considering the scenario we are in right now. So I'm just going to go through this really quick. Virtual information interview. There are virtual information interviews where you can ask people, say, I'm gonna just call out Ria here, because she's amazing at being a banking advisor, as well as connecting with people to say, hey Ria, I want to know what it is like to be a banking advisor and what's banking like. So this is not an interview. This is not Ria asking, for example, if I want to be in banking, this is not Ria asking me questions. This is me asking Ria questions about the industry to learn more about it. And just so it's her contributing her time for that. Building LinkedIn connections, as I said, there are so many online seminars like this one, and so take advantage of that. Also, online forums. Stay active on different online forums out there, so you can not just, again, as I mentioned before, not just be a receiver, but a giver in these forums as well. And always again, references after networking. References is the second important way in which you could get a job here. So just be aware of that. Build your networks that you get. Next slide, please. All right, so this is a huge shout out to ACCES again. In my third month here in Canada, when I realized, oh boy, I need help. I need to know how to navigate through my career here in Canada. I reached out to ACCES and was in this program, ACCES Cybersecurity Connections Program. What did ACCES help me to? It helped me find my niche. It helped me understand cybersecurity with something that I had experience in and I could do further. It helped me understand that I was more of a consultant than the other parts in security as well. It provided me a lot of technical skills that I could upgrade on. It helped. I had a number of mock interviews that really gave me the confidence for the final day of the interview. And it really helped me build that first group of support base, which was a non-judgmental group and great friendship. So thank you, ACCES, and thank you, RBC, for that. Next slide, please. And finally, before I close and open up to questions, just some final thoughts. Always remember that your dream is your dream, and ACCES or RBC cannot help you, cannot like handhold you to your dream, but you gotta be in the driver's seat. But we are all here to help you through that. So it's up to you and I to dream our dreams and to dream big. Some people told me, well, you gotta start at the least, like step down. I understand that in some aspects, but never allow others to dictate what your dream is. It's your dream, dream big, and don't let anyone take that away from you. Networking, as I mentioned, is very important, very critical. If you haven't started, it's not too late. You should have started yesterday, but today is still not too late. Networking is very important in finding a job. Be consistent in it. It may be hard, but be consistent. Be innovative and always explore opportunities. 2020 taught us one thing: it's be innovative. Find a mentor and also find your niche. So those are some of my key things that I wanted to share with you today. And I hope that helped you understand what would we like personal branding, branding yourself as well as networking. Well, over to you guys, Rihanna.
Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you for sharing so much information. And, you're sharing, like you said, and you've mentioned this many times, you're sharing from your heart because this is what worked for you. This is what you have done to be successful and to reach IBM like you have. So I'm just so proud of you. I feel very fortunate to have met you in early 2019. You've shared so much information, and the first impression, it's really, really important. It does go a long way. And I like what your friend does. And, they say the meaning of their name, because we all have special meanings in our name. And it's a great tactic to be remembered. And that's a good takeaway for myself. My name meaning varies, so I really have to hone in on a really good one that will leave that lasting impression. So I have to find that. So thank you for that point. I'm going to take that away. Your slide with the networking opportunities, the virtual information interviews, Naz and I conduct those like day in and day out, and Jeff as well. We enjoy those because someone that's trying to change their career or even like join start a banking career, that these informational interviews, they want to know what our role entails, and we love giving those because and the purpose of those is just to share our job, what it entails. And even though it has interview tacked on to the title, because it is called a virtual informational interview, it's not an interview per se where we're going to hire you. It's just a informational interview. So it is in its name. We're more so giving the information. It's taking away that aspect of actually us, offering you a job. And don't come prepared asking for a job. That's also important as well. So I just, you've given so much information, but I want to just ask you a couple questions if that's okay. And you get so much kudos to ACCESS Employment and the group. I remember your group so well. And, and I always said that to you guys, these are your first friends in Canada. These are the people that you're going to remember. And I've seen your camaraderie on LinkedIn, even on our personal WhatsApp group chat that we have with you guys. Whenever you guys attain a new certificate or like you've gotten your job, you guys are always there to support each other. And, just that personal and that love and support is there, so it's great. I know you still keep in touch with a lot of them. So, your first people that you meet here are the ones you're going to remember the most. And I speak that for myself. Like the first people that I have met within RBC as well are the ones that, that I still am in touch with. Like my very first friend in RBC, I'm still in touch with, and you've spoken about like connecting on LinkedIn, just that personable first invite and invitation. And I know that's one of your pet peeves, but would you care to elaborate a little bit more on that? Like what is the quote unquote LinkedIn etiquette per se? Like how do you successfully reach out and make those connections on LinkedIn? And you've done a wonderful job. So if you can just share on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like people are gonna get scared and I was like, what do I message? What don't I know? I was like, just my answer to that is just be yourself. But what I was talking about, my pet peeve is, for example, I've noticed like if everyone takes off a template of Google or something and just puts in their name, like it's different. So again, everyone has their own etiquette for LinkedIn. Something that I follow is when I meet someone in person, and this is most effective, I've noticed. For example, you've attended the session. Again, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Just drop me a note saying, hey, I attended your LinkedIn session. I mean, not your LinkedIn, your session, your webinar, which was conducted by ACCES and RBC. This is something I took away from, and that makes it personal. Like, for example, like Ria said, like, just knowing that how when you introduce yourself, making that something to remember. And that's some ways I have noticed that has helped me build a stronger and like a rapport with the person I'm connecting with. And it's not just a connect. And how this has helped me personally is when I connect with people, it has helped me show that I was listening, right? When they were talking, I was listening to them. And it was something that we have in common. And that's why I would like to build a connection. There are also some people that I have not met, but I'm interested to just be in their network and learn from them and share ideas. So I have reached out to them as well. So having a personable LinkedIn invite in just after the connect, if it's okay, just say, hey, thanks for the invite. Looking forward to connecting with you or staying in touch.
Thank you. I could not have agreed more. That personal connection and the purpose of the connection too is why you want to connect is also very important to put in that initial message too. So thank you, Christine.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ria, if I may add something else. Sorry, I just thought of something.
No, go ahead.
So it's also good to put a one-liner or two on where you are and like what you're doing. So for example, if you're searching for a job, like, you're not asking, give me a job in this industry, but you're like, oh, and right now, like I'm looking for a career in this. Or if you're already a banking advisor, like I work as a banking advisor in this particular industry, though it's on your LinkedIn profile, it's always nice to put that in a personal message.
Thank you so much. Well, actually, we have some time for a couple questions, so we'll go ahead and take those questions now. And keeping with the LinkedIn etiquette, I see a really good comment here that I wanted to share. So Lem, thank you for this. Is it okay to send friendship requests on LinkedIn to people working in organizations you would like to join? So I think the friendship requests are more so for the for the Facebook and Instagram and such. The LinkedIn is more so for those professional connections. So you may want to rephrase it and just, keep it to that personal connection, or even stay within that terminology as well. You want, like Christine said, you want to have the purpose of why you want to connect and such. So thank you so much for that comment and question. Yeah, but it's okay to join and connect with people within your own organizations, because it could be for career development moves. And Naz and I and Jeff, we all do that. We connect with different people within our own organization. And I'm sure I speak for Christine, who does the same for IBM. So yeah. Now we can take.
Thank you so much, Ria, and thank you so much, Christine, so for sharing those great tips and advice. I personally learned a lot. So we have actually a great comment from Maya. So much wonderful information. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you so much, Maya, for the great comment. We have also a question from Tony. Should resumes typically be 1 or 2 pages long? Do you have any thoughts on that, Christine?
Sure, I can say what, again, I'm not a resume expert, not a HR, but what I've heard generally is 1-page resumes are the best. But I do know my resume is 2 pages, and that would be, again, the maximum in which you could extend it. I would not at all recommend it 3 or 4 pages. 2 pages is pushing it. If you can do it in 1, perfecto, ideal. And again, another shout out to ACCES. if you're coming from a different country, I know my resume was done professionally. Like I paid someone in India to do it when I was coming. But after coming here, I realized that a lot of ways in which the system here takes in the resumes and filters it was in such a way that it would omit a lot of information. So I had to get it done all over again here. So again, if you're not sure how to do your resume, there are a lot of workshop ACCES conducts. Personally, again, my heart to yours, that helps me.
Great, thank you so much, Christine. Ria, do you see other questions here? Because some of them are in the chat, some of them are at the Q&A.
Yes, yes. I have a really good question here, and shout out to my client Chiwe in Nigeria. Hello, Chiwe. Good evening, everyone. I guess, yes, we're in a different time zone. This is really interesting session of experience. I am an experienced banking advisor, and I qualified as a PMP last year. Congratulations. I would love to know if it's possible to work in the financial sector as a project team member, leader, manager. Chiwe, speaking to you, and we've connected last year. I know you have great aspirations, and you know, we can definitely connect soon to discuss this more. But yes, you can actually, a lot of people, when they move over, they want to change their career and try something different. The financial sector, you have the RBC meeting place. We're always here to give you the advice on that. You have very qualified people within RBC, and we can definitely chat more on that. So thank you, Chiwe, for that question.
Great, thank you so much. We have another question from Arij. So for those of us who do not have Canadian education and experience, so are we supposed to get our credential assessed by relevant organization?
I can kind of take that because I know with again, I did my immigration process not too far back. So with Canadian with education, I know West does that. That's what is a part of the immigration process as well. But with Canadian experience, I don't know if it can be assessed. But again, it's a part of the immigration process of what's being done there. You don't have to do anything different. It will always be great to, if you're coming from a different country, to have an experience certificate where your managers say, this is what you've done, this is what you qualify for. So that would be great. But apart from that, I don't see any other assessments. Again, it would be completely based on industry sometimes. For example, when in cybersecurity, when I have to do my CISSP certification, I know that certain people should qualify for it, saying that I've worked in the industry for so long. So it's very industry specific. But having that experience certificate, experience letter goes a long way.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Christine, once again. So I know it's 12 o'clock. There are some more questions in the chat box. So please feel free to reach out to Christine through the LinkedIn, or you can reach out to myself or Ria or Jeff. So we will be more than happy to get back to you to answer your questions. So Ria and I both are advisors. So if you need anything about your banking or even non-banking, we would love to spend just book a coffee chat with you guys for networking. And thank you so much, Christine, once again. I love the message you brought up about your network is your net worth. So this is really absolutely true. And you did a great job, great presentation, so many great takeaways. So to wrap it up perfectly, I'll just hand it over to Sonia.
Thank you, Nazine. I'm just gonna make myself presenter so I can share. I just have a few slides here to share just to let you know the upcoming webinar here at ACCES is next Tuesday, May 18th, how to budget your first 6 months in Canada. Again, if you're interested, just like you registered for this webinar today, you can go on our website and look for this one as well. And as mentioned, everything is online right now. So if you are interested in any of our programs, any of our online events, and there are tons of networking events that we are hosting online as well. For that, you do have to be registered at ACCES and be part of the program. So please do check out to see which program you'd be eligible for. Other than that, you can also attend our Talk English Cafe. just to practice your English conversation skills. We don't get out much. We don't really get to talk to people in person. So this is a great idea for people who'd like to do it from home. And just call your closest ACCESS location and someone will be able to help you. If you are overseas and will be moving to Canada in the next few months, please email cec@accessemployment.ca to see if you'd be eligible for any of the pre-arrival job search support programs. And we are very active on our social media, so please do follow us on our social media, which is we're active on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So thank you all, and a very big thank you to the RBC team. And Christine, thank you so much for your lovely words and such an inspirational webinar today.
Great, thank you once again, and thank you, Sonia, for having us today, for giving us this great opportunity so we can end the call today. So I hope to see you soon all in the next event. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, everyone.